Good morning. Welcome to Rovelli's Daily Podcast. How's everybody doing today? Good to see you. Here is a toast to you, right there, right there. Sometimes I don't know where to point my finger. As you can tell, the locks are getting long again. I prefer it short. Um, I got up this morning and kind of rustled my hair, and it was about this tall, guys. Man, my hair is thick. But it's time to get it cut, and I've got my haircut scheduled for next week, so I'm happy about that. I was hoping to get it done before uh, New Year's Eve. However, I have a very popular barber, and she could not squeeze me until next week. So there you go. Now, my wife has given me a good advice. She says, why don't you just do a standing appointment? And yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think guys do that. I don't know. I mean, maybe some do, but to me, it's just like, I don't know. I probably won't do that. I might, but I probably won't. But I could, but it's probably not going to happen. But there's a slight, no, never mind. Anyway, welcome everybody. How you guys doing? You guys doing good? You looking forward to 2021? I am. Some people say it's not going to be any different than 2020. Some people say it's going to be completely different than 2020. So where do you fall at on that spectrum? Where do you fall on the spectrum? Do you fall in the middle? Well, it's going to have ups and downs, just like 2020 or 2019 or 2018, or go back as far as you want to go back. You can remember some of those years that were bad years for you. And you can remember some of the years that were really good years for you. However, I think most people, if you're like me, you can remember the bad things a lot easier than you can the good things. Good things you tend to forget. They don't linger as long. But I kind of made a mental note to kind of flip-flop those so that I'm remembering the good things. And it takes a little more work. I've got to admit, it does take a little more work because sometimes bad things are kind of shocking. Sometimes they stay there for a long time, but when you practice it, okay, the old adage is practice makes perfect. And when you practice it, then it becomes a lot easier, and it's a lot better for you too, health-wise, mental health-wise, all that kind of good stuff. But it takes practice, it takes work, but that's what I try to do. So do I think 2021 is going to be a spectacular year? I certainly hope so, but I do look forward to starting anew. Now, a lot of people say, well, what's the difference? It doesn't make any difference from the day before New Year's or on New Year's Eve to January 1st or January 2nd. Life is still the same. Well, a lot of times we have to hit that reset button, and even though it's a changing of a year, it's a changing of a date. Yeah, that's going to change every single day, right? The date's going to change every single day, every single moment, every second it changes. But sometimes for your own self, you need to hit that reset button. And this is kind of the one that it's kind of like that big red, I can't remember which store it was that had the big red button. Was it Best Buy or something that had the big red button? Sometimes you need to hit that, even if it's just for your own reset, that things just don't literally flip-flop from one day to the other, as far as, because the year is changing. And I know I'm starting to ramble, but bear with me. But when you kind of say, everybody has a fork in the road, right? And we have many forks in the road. And I'm not trying to get philosophical. This just is coming off the top of my head. So bear with me, but everybody has many, many forks in the road, and you can go left, you can go right. And because I come from a IT background, everything to me is on or off. That's binary code, right? It's either on or it's off. And the same thing, left, right, when you come to those forks in the road. And sometimes you have to you make a commitment to, I'm going this way, rather than, okay, well, let's try this way. For example, losing weight. Okay, a lot of people make a New Year's resolutions. I'm going to do this. I'm setting all these goals. Okay, so it is kind of, traditionally, it's kind of a big reset button where you hit that and you say, okay, what do I need to improve in my life, so that my life is better, so that my family's life is better? What do I need to work on? What do I need to change? What can I do to improve things and make things better? Because that's what we're all looking for, right? We're all looking for not necessarily things that are easier to make things easier, but it is to make it better. And when you come to these forks in the road, and you're making all these decisions, sometimes you make wrong decisions. I don't want to say bad decisions. Sometimes you make a bad decision too, but sometimes you make a wrong decision, and you have to, and it's not like you can backtrack out of that decision, right? You just have to change course. You just have to change the course, because you can't go back in time. So you make a decision and you're like, okay, this is the wrong decision for me. How do I back out of this? You don't have to back out of it. You have the ability to change on a dime your direction. That's one thing as human beings we have the ability to do. So you can say, okay, I made a wrong decision, and somebody is dinging like crazy, so I'm going to shut that off. Sorry about that. So I made a wrong decision, but I have the ability to change, and I'm going to change course right now. Okay. Sometimes it's hard because you're comfortable in a situation, or you're comfortable in a certain way, and you're like, okay, well, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. And but then you hit this place where, I gotta, I gotta make a change. Okay. I gotta make a change. And then you have a little bit of reprieve, and then it doesn't seem so bad anymore. And then you stay the course, and then you hit that roadblock again. You say, okay, for real, for sure, this time I'm making the change, and so we negotiate with ourselves, and sometimes we negotiate with God. Sometimes we negotiate with our jobs, our friends, our family, or whoever, but sometimes you're negotiating, and most of the time you're negotiating with yourself of, okay, am I really going to be committed if I make this change? A lot of people say, don't ever make New Year's resolutions, because if you don't reach the goal, or at least don't make the goal so lofty, right? Because you'll never reach that goal. If I have the goal of this year, I'm going to start training to be in the NBA, that's not going to happen, right? But you do have to set goals. You do have to look a little bit ahead, and you say, okay, how do I reach that goal? And one thing that I'm learning, and here I am, I'm an old man, I'm an old dude, and I'm still learning. But one thing that I'm learning is that, you don't make the goal so small that you have 10 billion goals, because that's hard to keep track of, right? Okay, my goal today is to get out of bed. Yeah, and put both feet on the ground, not 1 foot, but 2 feet on the ground. Okay, that could probably be a goal for somebody, right? But and likewise, you can't have the goal like me, or it's not, at least for me, from my perspective, it's not wise to say, okay, this year I'm going to train so hard and practice basketball so much that I'm going to try out for the Jazz. Okay. That's not going to happen. So somewhere in between, you make a goal. Okay. And when you make that goal, you keep adding to it. Okay. So a lot of people, when they reach a goal, they rest on their laurels, right? They're okay, I've made it. Woo! Okay, let's celebrate. And then you kind of drop back because you're celebrating with a cream puff or something like that. But as long as you're moving forward, even if it's smaller increments, okay, maybe it is putting 1 foot on the ground. Maybe it is putting 1 foot in front of the other. That is a goal, and that's the right goal for you. But the main thing is that you keep moving forward. And you guys have heard me say this before, keep moving forward, right? Regardless of what it is, and regardless of, some people say, well, I can't do the things I used to do. And that's me. That's that's me. But I do know that a lot of things that I can't do anymore is because of the things that I haven't been doing up until then. You know, getting a little more exercise and that kind of stuff. And so, but what I'm saying is move forward, even if it's in small increments, at least you're moving forward, right? And if you take a wrong turn in the fork in the road, just make another fork. Okay. That just dawned on me, and I'm sure you've all thought of that many a long time ago. But if you make a wrong turn in the fork of the road, create another fork, because everything is left, right, yes, no, on, off, right? Okay. Did this decision work for me? No. Okay. If no, change direction. Okay. If yes, stay the course, you know. And when you start to practice that, then those decisions become a little easier, especially when you get a monkey wrench thrown there, because that's life, right? You're going along, everything is going great for you. You're reaching your goals, you're making decisions, and then something happens. For example, let's say you're a runner, okay, and you're putting in 5 miles a day, 10 miles a day, and you're increasing you're practicing, and you're getting your lungs stronger, and everything's going great. And you're running along that trail, and you step on a rock and your ankle. Whoop, okay. And that's a monkey wrench in the works, right? And everybody has those all the time. But again, there's a new fork in the road. Okay. So you have another fork right there, and you need to decide, okay, I'm just going to just take care of this and rest. And then you never get back to running. Okay. And the reason why I say that one in particular is because that happened to me a number of years. I don't want to say that long ago, but I was actually running for and training for the Ogden Marathon. I really wanted to do that. And it was so great to get that runner's high. And I was feeling so good, and I was losing a lot of weight. But more than that, even more than losing weight, it wasn't that. It was the fact that I kept running further and further and further, you know, and I got to the point where I was running 10, 12 miles, and it just felt so good. It felt, you know, like I was accomplishing things. And one thing that I didn't realize until, you know, it was kind of too late, it was the running shoes that I had were not the correct running shoes for me. And you know, and some of the other things too, probably, you know, maybe I wasn't stretching enough or doing the things that that I was really required to do to run that distance, right? Especially with the weight that I have, you know, maybe I wasn't doing that, or maybe it was the weight itself. There could be all kinds of factors. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I do know one thing, that my knee started to hurt, and I just thought, well, it's just stress, and I ignored it. Okay, I ignored that fork in the road right there, and I kept running, and it kept getting worse and worse and worse, to where my knee was aching even when I went to sleep, you know, and it was just there. And when I went to look for some new shoes, as soon as I walked into the store, the shoe store, the guy said, "You're having a problem with your knee." I didn't even say anything. Or he said, "Are you having a problem with your knees?" And I went, "Yeah, how did you know?" But he could tell by the wear of my sole of my shoe that, you know, he says, "These are good shoes, but based on the way that I'm looking at the wear, this is not the right shoe for you." And he gave me the correct shoe for me. And but by that time, the damage to the knee was done. Okay, it was already done. And so I stopped running, and I've been missing it ever since, you know. But I didn't take that fork in the road. I mean, I waited too long. I went down that path a little bit too long, and you know, there you go. So I'm telling you from my own experience, not to tell you what to do, but I'm just telling you how I think about things and how I look at things from my perspective, for me. And that's that there are so many forks in the road as we go. Sometimes you have too many choices, right? And it's hard to keep them all straight. But that's what I'm saying. But if you set goals, even little ones, they become clearer and clearer and clearer, because then your priorities all reshuffle and they change, and your priorities are different. And when the priorities start to fall in line with your life, your lifestyle starts to change, and the way you think, and everything starts to morph into where you're trying to be, and that is making life better for yourself, for those around you, and for the things that you do, which make in turn life better for everybody. Because I know when I'm happy, everybody's happier around me. Anyway, enough of the philosophical rantings and ravings of a guy that that comes to you on a daily basis. I don't normally get into this too much, but once in a while, I have to get it off my chest, and hopefully it benefits you. But I'm thinking, I'm glad that at least you're listening. That's pretty cool. Entertaining me. It's like laughing at the joke when it's not that really that funny. But I'll take the courtesy laugh any day. All right, guys, let me show you my features today, because we got some fun stuff for you. Hold on one second, and I will pull this up. And you're like, wow, that